All right, listeners, ready for another deep dive. Today, we're heading into the Whispering Woods with a story called The Quacktastic Cooking Class.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It is. It's about two duck chefs, Beatrice and Benedict, and they run this cooking class for all the forest animals.
Oh, wow. So like a mix of woodland creatures all learning to cook together.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And, well, let's just say there's some hilarious mishaps along the way.
I can imagine. Like what happens when you put a squirrel in charge of caramelized acorns?
Well, you're about to find out. But it's not all just laughs, though. This story also has some really great insights about learning community and even the unexpected joys of cooking.
I think that's what's so cool about stories like this. You can learn a lot about life, even from the silliest situations.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. The first scene introduces us to this squirrel, Nutty.
Ah, Nutty the Squirrel. I remember him.
Yeah, he's got this uncontrollable craving for anything crunchy.
Oh, no.
So naturally, he's super excited to try his paws at the caramelized acorn crumble recipe.
I bet those duck chefs had their wings full with that.
Or you have no idea. Nutty's impatience gets the better of him, and, well, let's just say things get a little messy.
So that's where the importance of patience in cooking comes in, right?
Exactly. Like, think about when you're caramelizing sugar.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rush it. You got to let it melt slowly and evenly over low heat, otherwise it'll just burn.
Ugh. Yeah, and then you're left with this bitter, burnt mess instead of that gorgeous golden color and that rich caramel flavor.
Exactly. It's all about precision and timing.
It reminds me of the difference between like a perfectly seared steak and one that's been overcooked. You need that patience to get it just right.
Totally. And Beatrice and Benedict, they really stress that throughout the class. They walk the animals through every step, you know, chopping, whisking, kneading.
So it's not just about the end result, it's about the process too.
Exactly. But, well, sometimes even the most careful instructions can go awry. And that brings us to Flopsy the Bunny.
Oh, Flopsy, I love her. She's got such a good heart.
Yeah, she does. So Flopsy is determined to make this classic carrot and dandelion soup.
Sounds delicious.
Right. But then disaster strikes. In a moment of pure bunny chaos, Flopsy lets out a giant sneeze right into the soup pot.
Oh no, poor Flopsy.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd think that would ruin the whole thing, but get this, the sneeze actually transforms the soup.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it adds this unexpected tangy flavor, and they end up calling it sneezy bunny broth.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right? And it becomes a huge hit with all the other animals.
Got a happy little accident.
Exactly. And, you know, it made me think about all those famous dishes that were actually created by mistake, like chocolate chip cookies.
Oh yeah, or even champagne. Sometimes the best things come from unexpected places.
Exactly. It just shows you that it's okay to experiment in the kitchen and not be afraid to embrace those little mistakes.
Totally. And I think that's a good lesson for life in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to step outside your comfort zone and see what happens.
Absolutely. Now, our next student is Finnegan the Fox.
Oh, Finnegan, he's a tricky one.
He is. He just can't resist a sweet treat.
Sounds familiar.
So when he's tasked with baking these honeyberry tarts, well, let's just say those duck chefs have their work cut out for them.
Keeping him away from those berries.
Oh, yeah. They're constantly having to remind him about self-control and the importance of waiting for the final product.
That reminds me of something I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's like in today's world, we're so used to instant gratification.
Yeah, everything's got to be fast and easy.
Exactly. But sometimes the best things in life take time. Like waiting for bread to rise or letting a stew simmer for hours.
It's about delayed gratification and appreciating the process.
Mm-hmm. And I think Finnegan's story really highlights that he learns that the wait is worth it and that the final reward is even sweeter when you've exercised some self-control.
Yeah, that's a valuable lesson for sure. And in the end, Finnegan bakes those tarts perfectly, and they celebrate by sharing them with the whole class.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is, and it really emphasizes the importance of community and sharing food with the people you care about.
I think that's what makes cooking so special. It's not just about the food itself. It's about the connections you make and the memories you create along the way.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think this deep dive into the Quacktastic Cooking Class has been a real treat. It's a reminder that cooking can be fun and messy and full of surprises, and that even the simplest stories can teach us valuable lessons about life.
I couldn't agree more. And I think it leaves us with a great question to ponder. What unexpected ingredient or technique could you bring to your next culinary adventure? Don't be afraid to experiment and have fun with it.
I love that. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.